You know that feeling when you finally take a week off and you come home more tired than when you left? I've done the overnight flights, the packed itineraries, the we have to see everything trips. Most vacations ignore how your body and nervous system actually work. In this episode, we're heading to the Adriatic. We'll visit Croatia's islands of Pag and Hvar with an optional wind down on Korčula. Think turquoise water, stone streets, sea view villas, and late night gelato. Underneath all that, there's something different. This is a 7-night wellness retreat designed by a couple from Boulder, Colorado. Melissa is an acupuncturist and Steven, a Grammy Award-winning sound engineer turned sound healer. It's built as a blend of wellness, relaxation, and exploration. You book the flight, they take care of the rest. We'll look at how they turn a trip into a nervous system reset, how they structure the first 48 hours so your system can actually land, and how they balance deep rest with the simple joys of good wine, good food, and great company. If you've ever come back from a vacation thinking, I need a vacation from my vacation, this offers a different way to travel and a different way to come home. I've been hearing more and more about Croatia, especially since I've been in this business, and it's not often known as a wellness destination. Tell me about, what are your favorite parts? Why are you passionate about Croatia?
It's just such a great culture and such a beautiful place. I mean, the country that we're on the islands the whole time, which are just gorgeous. There's so much culture. The food is amazing. The wine is amazing. It's an amazing place.
Island hopping, stone town, sea views, amazing food and wine. But instead of trying to do all of Croatia, Melissa and Steven slow things down. They focus on 2 islands for the 7 nights, Pag and Hvar. If you want more, you can always add the 3-day add-on for Korčula at the end. The promise is simple. 1 curated week that blends wellness, relaxation, and exploration. Luxury villas in Pag, a cozy seaside view, hotel, and spa in Hvar, gourmet breakfast baskets, 5 standout dinners. You book your flight, they take care of the rest, so your mind is free to unplug.
And we're staying in these villas, beautiful, super deluxe villas on a hill overlooking the sea. And it's more, we're spending the days there. There's pools at each villa, so you're relaxing. We're doing yoga and meditations and sound baths and massages, as well as we do an e-bike tour and we go paddle boarding. We do a hike through an ancient olive grove, a 2,000-year-old olive grove, which is incredible, down to a little private beach nook that we take a dip in if you want.
Before we get into the healing work, consider the foundation of the trip. You arrive at a sea view villas on Pag. There are pools to relax, quiet atmosphere, and room to breathe. Your days are simple. Maybe an e-bike ride, paddle boarding, or walking through a 2,000-year-old olive grove. If your life is unusually back-to-back and busy, this kind of landing really matters. Pag's setting does half the work of relaxing your nervous system so it can finally let go. Then, when the acupuncture, sound baths, and meditations can land in a body that's already starting to relax, instead of one that's still stuck in go mode.
So, it can just bring, well-being. And so some things, let's say somebody traveled internationally and their back's hurting from the plane, I can address that on the retreat, or they're having digestive concerns or a headache, or maybe they're fighting a cold, all of those things. And if none of that's happening, then I would just give an overall balancing wellness, feel the pulse, look at the tongue, see, what sort of how their constitution is wired, and then just give them a very overall balancing, which would then be you really feel that well-being in your system afterwards. Like we talked about, kind of immediately feeling those effects. But also it's preventative. So, you're going to be less susceptible to some of those things you might get in travel, like a cold or digestive stuff. And we do sound baths there for sure. The first full day of the retreat, we have a yoga instructor come and massage. So it's pretty restorative. The yoga is not hot yoga or something really hardcore. It's very restorative, and The massage therapist we use is really gifted and has this whole menu of different types of massage she offers. And people are just, it's such a nice start to things because you're not really being expected to do a whole lot. It's just downtime, relaxation time, some yoga, and a really amazing massage. And then we go to Bushki Nuts that night.
One guest called this trip the highlight of her year, and she said she left feeling truly regenerated. And it makes sense. Those first 48 hours on Pag act like a reset button for your whole system. Rest, regulation, and pleasure all working together.
The concept or theory in Chinese medicine is that we have meridians running through our bodies. So that kind of thing, imbalance or stagnation, can occur in our meridian system. And acupuncture really gets the qi to flow from areas where it's sort of stuck to areas where our body might be depleted for more support. And that way it sort of is like triggering your body to balance itself out, if that makes sense.
And your body is, I don't know how much, 90 something percent water. And what does water do when frequency hits it? It resonates and shakes and jiggles, and that happens all through your body and through every cell in your body, right? So different frequencies make your body and your cells and your water and your blood all resonate in different ways. For me, it's like, I think just having the musical background is, I think our sound baths are a little more musical in a way, whereas we're actually performing an arrangement of sorts, as opposed to sometimes you'll go and it'll just be a couple gongs or something. We're actually, sustaining that energy throughout the sound bath, which I think helps people kind of stay in that headspace, in that zone, lets them kind of shut off their mind a little bit and let their body just absorb these frequencies.
Steven comes from the world of professional music production. He thinks in frequencies and arrangements and builds a steady low frequency base so your body can relax. If acupuncture is about unkinking the cord, then sound baths with Steven are all about getting the cells in your body to sync for a while. You might not feel fireworks in the moment, but your body notices when, for the first time in months, everything lines up instead of fighting itself.
Yeah, if you watch Anthony in Croatia, I think it's the last stop he makes. It's called Boulder is the restaurant. I think he does 2 or 3 things on the island of Pag and then goes to Bushki, which is also a winery. They make incredible wine. And he actually falls out of his chair drunk at the end of the episode.
Okay, so this is not a monk in a cave retreat. You're doing deep reset work, but you're also sitting down to 5 very special dinners over the week. That mix matters. Real care for your body and nervous system, plus good food, wine, and laughter.
Anyway, that's Pag. And then we jump on a ferry and hop over to Hvar, which is probably the most active of the 3. We're staying in this little harbor town of Hvar. It's an ancient town, but it's, there's tons of restaurants, wineries, coffee shops, bars, dance clubs, boutiques. There's a whole street vendor section where you can get jewelry and lavender products. Lavender is huge in Croatia. So that's more of a beach during the day, restaurants at night, walking around this. There's a whole, what we call the riva. Every town in Croatia has a riva, which is the kind of the walkway along the water that the town is all kind of clustered around. So you can just walk around that, you get gelato, you stop for some wine, we go to really nice restaurants, there's beautiful beaches. We do a boat tour out to a couple different islands. One of the days we actually go to a restaurant on a boat that's across on a different island, where we do a whole olive oil tasting, which is really cool.
Not everyone can fly to Europe every year. What I like is that Melissa and Steven use the same thought process for their domestic trips. Reset first, nervous system in mind, and really great food.
Sedona is our next travel retreat. So that one's going to be starting on April 30th in 2026. And that one's really more of like a spiritual connection with the energy vortexes in Sedona. So we're going to work with a local indigenous woman healer who's also a psychic medium. Do a ceremony with her at some of these energy vortex sites. So the Red Rocks, there are certain sites that are considered these energy vortexes. And so we'll connect with that with someone local who can really guide us through that experience. Steve's going to be chefing on this one. So we'll be staying in a gorgeous house with a pool and hot tub and lots of different activities available, right across the street from some really incredible hiking trails, and just exploring the town of Sedona. So one is in Santa Barbara. It's a couples retreat. So it'll be like a long weekend. It's really in the
Outside of Santa Barbara.
Outside of Santa Barbara in the mountains. We're in the wine country. So that one would be, again, it's a couples retreat. There would be massage and yoga, meditation, sound bath. As far as wellness services, Steve would do a cooking class, and then we would explore vineyards, restaurants, and also just preparing meals, because Steve is such a gifted chef. So we usually like to incorporate that as well.
When you zoom out, this is more than a pretty trip through Croatia or a weekend in the desert. It's a different way to use travel to support your wellness. Then you carry that clarity back into your life, into your work, into your relationships, your family, and watch how everything changes. If this kind of wellness retreat speaks to you, hit like and subscribe for more stories about retreat centers and programs from around the world. And if you want to see dates and logistics and details for Melissa and Steven's retreats, click on the link in the description and head over to retreatfinder.com to get in touch with them. Wherever you go next, may it bring you home to yourself.